What do we have going on here? Well, we currently have a sprayer that has a steel boom. Yep. I've spent over a day taking everything off this boom. I mean, you can see I've got piles of hoses there, wiring harness over there, control valves, hoses, all my stainless plumbing, nozzles, nozzle bodies. Aren't you supposed to be working?
I'm supposed to still be on vacation.
Yeah. That's the bad thing about vacation. They always end. But so far, it's been a pretty easy process because, well, just removing everything. Except for the 2 hydraulic lines that go to my fold cylinder, there's literally nothing left on this boom. And I'm finally to the point where it's time to start going through the new things and putting stuff back on. But this is the exact apply upgrade. They call it a PUC, a product upgrade kit. And I'm trying to find one of the nozzles. Here we go. So we're upgrading every single one of those nozzles to one of these because they are PWM nozzles. They will be individually controlled. And then we're also upgrading to Deere's product recirculation and product reclaim. All of this is new, a whole lot of new stainless piping. You know what, let's just take a look at it. Oh yeah. Pipe after pipe after pipe in there. All new, massive wiring harnesses. To give you guys a little bit of a idea of the intensity of this upgrade, well, the instruction manual that we finally got a hold of is 428 pages for this machine alone. I'm currently on page 22. So the first step in actually installing any of this is actually replacing this breakaway spring. I'm not really sure why, but hey, they sent me a new one, so I'm going to put it on. Out with the old one, in with the new one. And the only thing I can think of on why we would be replacing this is I think this one's heavier duty. Okay, well that's definitely a much heavier duty spring. Once you start stretching it, whew, yeah. Alright, I went ahead and installed the spring on the other side as well. Same procedure. First step is working on the solution system pipe, all my new piping for this. So first things first, I got to get the new brackets like that installed on the machine, which means I got to find them first. So it's these right here, it appears. Okay, so we got this piece and that piece that needs, I got these like this. Then they just hang over and bolt on right there. Okay, now 37 more of those. So I can technically mount these pieces at any one of these holes. So what I've got to make sure I get right is I've got to count 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I've got a single. So that one goes there, go here. I got to make sure I get these holes lined up. my good old workbench. Not exactly the most ideal, but I think before this project's over, I'm going to end up running to the store and grabbing a little cart that I can wheel around with me to have parts laid out on. Because I've already noticed that's a very big inconvenience not having anything. Okay, well, we've got all of the mounting brackets on, and I say we because I have recruited Mom to help, because we're trying to get this done as fast as possible, and well, something as simple as those was just so monotonous. There's just so many of them. It helps having a second pair of hands that can do the other boom while you're working on it. But the brackets are on. Time to move on to plumbing. So this all gets switched out from here down. I got to take this off, and I got to start building my three-way valve for the reclaim. All right, now we got to put the T on that. Ooh, should have sprayed that one. Oh, there we go. I got it. All right, you got another hose clamp for me?
Oh, wait.
Well, that one's a different style clamp. Probably didn't need to on that one, but. Well, I don't think I need to look up the last one, do I?
No.
We only got one left. Well, that took a little bit, but the center boom section, I believe, is completely finished. Obviously, the nozzle part is not, but your main plumbing is. And we took quite a while, but I feel like we learned several things about how the John Deere instructions correlate with the parts lists and the boxes. So as we get more and more familiar with how they organize things, how they package things, I think our progress speed will just keep increasing. But it's literally lunchtime already, and unfortunately I've got to take a semi home for lunch because we're pulling out of the bins at my house. Kyle and Dad are up on the excavator and skid steer again today, but he's going to start hauling beans tomorrow. So I figured, the good brother that I am, I'm going to go ahead and load that truck for him so he can get away just that much earlier in the morning and not have to worry about loading. Alright, now that the truck's full and my belly's full, time to get back on this sprayer. See how much we can get done this afternoon. I knew it was going to be slow, but I think it's going to be even slower than I thought. But oh well, We'll chip away at it step by step, box by box, till we have no more boxes.
And then we've got that outside bracket.
I probably will, yeah. Well, if any of you guys can tell, we're definitely using this as our learning one, that's for sure. Well, I don't know how much of this fight I'm actually going to end up putting in the video, but when you've got 1, 2, 3, 4 different pieces that all have to be tied together and leveled, and when you put any kind of pressure on this, it locks the whole pipe up. It was fun fighting to get each of those leveled because the holes have got to be on the bottom, obviously, so that all of your nozzles are leveled. But we finally got that done and clamped together. It is solid now, so I can finally move on to the rest of this return plumbing, which obviously it looks like that goes to there, and this goes to there. Okay, this is where the frustrated part of me comes out. So, 1, said I needed 4 of these clamps. There was only 2 with this hose. Obviously, the other clamp goes right there. Cannot find that clamp. And there is supposed to be a U-bolt and bracket that goes right here that allows me somewhere to mount a P-clamp to hold this tube rigid. I have searched every single box and cannot find that bracket, to the point where I've probably wasted half an hour looking for it. So I took screenshots of this page so I will remember it, and I'm just going to move on. I'm just going to hang that hose there, and maybe as I go through my other steps I'll come across it. I can come back and slap it on at that point. This is where I haven't figured the kit out yet, and this is where I'm losing most of my time and I'm not making any progress. So, I've wasted enough time on it. I'm going to jump past that step for now and figure out what we got next. Let's see. So all those P-clips, I don't have a clue where they're at. Okay, next I'm supposed to run my main return line from here up under the sprayer. So let's see if we can find this. So that hose is the hose right here that goes clear under the sprayer. Part number 75739. 75739. Okay, I'm going to take this whole kit over with me. That one was easy to find because a big return line like that is not hard to spot. So I've been kicking this box out of my way for quite a while. And check this out. There's my U-bolts I was looking for. And I bet you anything my bracket's in here too. Right there. So that's what I get. That's my fault because, well, I thought this box was just the hose. Turns out there was a bag of parts with it. So I can go ahead and get this finished now. Okay. Look at that. Beautiful. Wow. Loud and obnoxious. Hey. Sounds like Dustin's back. He's been in a semi all day. He's gonna be in a semi for probably the next 2 weeks straight. We got a lot of beans, a lot of corn, and a lot of liquid fertilizer to sell. And I think I said to sell. I meant to haul. Okay. Now that one's done. Oh, just careful pulling out too hard on it, but you got it, right? That didn't take much?
Nope, it's
okay.
on.
All right, I would say go ahead and tighten those clamps if you want. All right, let's get this one ran over to here. Ah, there we go. Okay. And then it's supposed to go through this clamp, but the instructions show there being a plate here to where this will sit right here. But I'm not exactly sure. I may have to drill a hole through that and then self-tap it up or bolt it up into that. But I'll worry about that later. Pretty sure this has got to come through here. But that's as far as we're going with that because I've got to come off of this right here and it's going to come down and I'll hook in right there. But I'm not to that point yet. I got Dustin back, by the way. He's here to help me for the last half hour or so.
I feel like that's snug. Probably not, though. I don't feel like they're ever snug enough.
It's good enough for now. Good enough till we test it and figure out if it leaks. If it leaks, it won't be tight enough.
Yeah.
But with that return line being ran at least up to the tank, our back center section, I can't say that. Dustin's got a couple more nozzles here. He puts one more nozzle right here, and this back center section will be finished. I think. At least the instructions have us moving on to the right side of the boom now. All right, next step, we're getting away from the actual spray part of the boom and we're moving up into here for the recirc part. So we'll have 2 stainless pipes up here, 2 here, 2 there, blah, 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 as we go down the tube, and that's part of what circulates the fluid, the chemical. So that, Dustin's laying out the pipes, and we've got to get some brackets laid out and put on. Well, Dad and Kyle just got back from up north, getting ready to come in. How much you guys want to bet I get a comment right away? Oh, I thought you'd have this done by now. I thought you'd be blah, blah, blah. I can hear it now. What's that?
Fewer trees than there was.
That's good. There's less parts and boxes on the ground than there was. Well, I was wrong. He didn't say anything about how far I'd gotten. But also, he might have not been in the best mood. He kind of blew out. So the excavator's got your main glass, and then it's got like a smaller panel down at the bottom. Well, he let a tree limb hit him, busted out that small glass. Nothing major, but it's just frustrating when you cause it, and we've all been there. But not as far along as I was hoping. I'll throw myself under the bus for that one. That back boom, fighting that first pipe, really took longer than I thought. But hopefully we're starting to get into a rhythm. Pulling Mom out here to help me with the tedious parts of it definitely helped. But hey, got a lot more left to do, but we'll save that for our next video. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. And your fact for today, did you know that the average person blinks 14 to 17 times per minute? See you guys in the next one.